Howdy everyone, Young with V Voltage, and honestly I was not expecting another video kind of back to back because the other video actually just came out literally yesterday for this channel, but I guess now it's Akuma versus Raoh, so let's go. I'll probably end up posting this tomorrow most likely because I don't want two videos back to back, honestly, because like that's just a bit too much.
Others think of it as just the sky. Tonight's combatants, however, view heaven as the pinnacle of strength a mortal can achieve and have a huge desire to figuratively and literally surpass it with their assassinative fighting styles.
We're, of course, talking about Akuma, Street Fighter's Master of the Fist, and Raoh, Fist of the North Star's violent evil star. Quick note before diving
Fist
in,
of the North Star.
Most Akuma material officially released by Capcom,
okay.
But we will not be factoring in Azura's Wrath in the equation, as that would make the fight a stomp in Akuma's favor. He could still win, but not through an insta-win like that.
I'm your host, Animation Reward.
Seriously? You're not factoring in something, but you're factoring in other things? Since when have you done that? You factored in everything for freaking K-Rool versus Monty, and it was an ass-blasting stomp for Monty. To get ass blasted. Why not have another ass-blasting fight and just have Akuma Raoh up the butt?
Without further ado, let's introduce Cartoon Fight
Like, seriously?
Next round of fighters.
At least this time it's the person I want to win getting the stomp win.
Best deal ever now includes stuffed crab.
Let's keep going, I guess.
After over a whole decade of Street
Age late 60s, early 70s. Height 5'10". See, he's smaller than I am. 198 pounds. He's heavier than I am, though. Power and strength are 10. Agility is a 9. Speed is a 7. It's action 8. 6 is for durability and 5 for intelligence. Okay.
Akuma, also known as Goki in Japan, was naturally gifted the destiny of fighting and fully embraced its style. Unlike Goku,
Interesting.
who embarked on a form of the Ansatsuken not so deadly and would go on to train the likes
Give me a
of
sec. Gotta check. Let's continue. Just gotta donut from my sister.
Ansatsuken in question literally assassinated with the goal of quickly killing your opponent. Akuma welcomed the violent potential of the Ansatsuken and mastered it to the point of possessing its greatest weapon, the Satsui no Hado, the surge of murderous intent.
That must be when he enters his rage form then. Yeah, like that move, that mark. Is the Satsui no Hado?
Incredible boost in speed, strength, and power, but at the cost of his compassion. He ultimately killed Gotetsu and betrayed Gouken, despite initially losing to Gouken after Gotetsu's murdering. Akuma would return to do the same to Gouken, or so he thought. Gouken was witnessed to have died, but he actually uses Monuken, aka Power of Nothingness, to survive, albeit stay in a long coma.
Oh, okay.
Akuma would embark on his own path to become the world's strongest and deadliest fighter. With his plethora of powers and abilities, he's certainly onto something with that. As an Ansatsuken master,
he's not the best by any means, honestly. Because even Ryu's better than him, because Ryu beats him every like quite often.
Shoryuken, and Tatsumaki Senpukyaku, known as the Go Hadoken, Go Shoryuken, and Tatsumaki Senkukyaku, all amplified with electricity. Akuma also possesses his own unique abilities with this martial art. With the Ashura Senku, Akuma can face through any given attack via short teleportation.
The what? The Akura Sensu, okay.
In the air to dodge projectiles, then land in for a sweep or hop up to grab the opponent by their shoulders before throwing them in a somersault fashion. This isn't even all of them.
That's I'm pretty sure it's something I've seen another fight before from him.
However, 2 of Akuma's moves proved to be the most powerful.
That's right, Akuma can unleash the Kongo Kokuretsu-san, a strike to the ground with enough force to sink an entire island, making this his most destructive attack in base form, but not the deadliest. That would be his most iconic attack, the Shungo Kusatsu, more commonly known as the Raging Demon. Didn't realize that such a violent attack. Wait a minute, that's the second time we made that joke. But I digress. Wait, that's the second time.
Just do something simple and effective and just reality.
Is not Akuma, but the target's past sins that kill them by turning them on their soul. So the more bad the opponent is, the more devastating this would be. So in other words, if there is a pop singer who constantly says that they're bad, and even writes a song about it, they probably wouldn't want to get hit by this attack.
Probably not.
Referencing, it's Michael Jackson's I'm Bad. MJ jokes aside, this is all just Akuma's base form, by the way. Akuma can even give more to the Satsui no Hado to become even faster and more powerful, becoming Shin Akuma.
As Shin Akuma, he's even more of a monster than he was before.
Yeah, Shin Akuma just makes things kind of stupid.
To shatter a meteor that was capable of destroying Earth, forgetting being able to destroy a meteor, making Shin Akuma continent level, jumping up to it alone proves Akuma has supreme stamina, way better than in his base form. But believe it or not, this still isn't Akuma's final form. When Akuma fully gives in to the Satsui no Hado and abandons all his remaining concepts of his humanity, he becomes blue and has Dragon Balls floating around him, becoming Oni. You know, if I had
Oni
every
Akuma.
time we both hosted an episode involving Street Fighter and there had been more than one DBZ reference, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right?
How interesting indeed. Anyway, as One, Akuma reaches his full potential and gains yet another physical boost all around. He can fire Go Hadokens with just one hand, strike multiple hits with his moves, and his ground punches become the Tenchi Sokyagen, capable of launching his opponent sky high before jumping up to strike an uppercut. All of this
that.
are likely the most powerful in all of Street Fighter.
Ow! Poor Ken there. in the fight thing on the side.
But anyway, even with all this power, it is still possible to take Akuma down. He may seem like an immortal demon,
yeah, but he's
having
not.
the name Oni as his final form, it is possible for him to be killed with enough force. Plus, if Akuma misses his attack, he can be quite susceptible to counterattack.
Akuma's stamina is also on the slightly lower.
I'm pretty sure like this is fight against him and Heihachi here that I see in the animation there on the side.
Unfair disadvantage and respect the art of fighting. So if you got a baby Akuma Matata, you'd have no worries. That was a terrible pun.
Yeah, it really
Should
was.
you pose a challenge and or especially mock fighting as an art, Akuma will not hesitate to put you 6 feet under. Overall, Akuma is among Street Fighter's toughest and most violent. He has plenty of attacks that can easily overwhelm his opponent and becomes even more powerful in his higher forms. What he lacks in defensive recovery, he makes up with his offensive capability.
Yeah, because like he's mostly offense, so I see.
It's the one in the middle.
Let's continue.
Sure. As a versus show that has never had a single Fist of the North Star match until today, it feels quite appropriate for that honor to belong to Raoh, the eldest of the adopted siblings.
Okay, he's got a 10 in strength, 9 in speed and power, 8 in intelligence and fighting skill, a 7 in durability, and a 6 in agility.
They would go on to train under
Mid to late 30s, height 6 foot. Jesus Christ, he is tall. I'm 6'1". He's 320 pounds. Title Keno.
Several years passed, Raoh and Kenshiro would face off to determine Ryukin's successor.
My guy do be heavy.
Kenshiro would claim victorious. Raoh rebelled against this and killed Ryokin himself, ultimately forging his own path, declaring himself the Geno, aka King of the Fist, not to be mistaken for King of the Iron Fist, which would imply the name of a different fighting game that his opponent today also appeared in, Tekken.
You know, now that I think about it, Raoh would make an awesome character in Tekken. Namco, you gotta add Raoh in Tekken 8 as DLC. Anyway,
Then Raoh could die to Kazuya.
Over all this time, Raoh has become a master of Hokuto Shinken,
Powers and big
Divine Fist, and possesses quite the mastery
Bruh.
of Kiraku Hiko.
Oh my, what new Mushin Tsuronai.
Hokuto Shinken is a 1,800
Those are not
Chinese
powers, those are just
martial
stupid
art based
memes.
around assassination and passed on only from teacher to student. With Hokuto Shinken, Raoh focuses on striking an opponent's 702 meridian points, which is basically their hidden pressure points.
Oh!
This allows him to
That's-
cause internal devastation, as this often leads to violent bodily explosions, making it a supreme assassination technique. Raoh technically possesses his own version of Hokuto Shinken, called Gonoken, which he implements with even greater force.
Abilities of his include Hokuro Goshoha, which expels a high amount of powerful Toki from the user's hands. There's also Hokuro Goten Sho, requiring those to raise their hand to the sky and expel Toki,
What?
firing a wave of energy, so on and so forth.
If you guys can't tell, I've got no fucking clue who this guy is or what he does.
Now, in addition to being skilled hand-to-hand, he also possesses his trident sword, a blade he uses to take on Toki.
Oh, a sword! Sure, that's fair in the fist fight, isn't it?
He's even proven to go toe-to-toe with Juza, who was able to blitz Garuda. Garuda himself has shown FTL attacks, meaning at minimum, Raoh is 2 times the speed of light in both travel and combat speed.
Oh, fun!
While he has lost to Kenshiro, he's proven to be comparable to at least his base form and even pre-Muso.
So this guy's fast as fuck, gotcha.
Of strength, durability, and attack potency.
We'll talk about what this is here soon, but to give you an idea of Kenshiro's abilities, Kenshiro once pushed a boulder that weighed 300 metric tons in base form without even powering up, meaning Raoh should easily be above this in lifting strength.
That's not much, honestly.
Kenshiro puts him between island and multi-continent level. However, when Raoh uses the art of dragon's breathing, he embraces his full potential. The natural human body can only use about 30% of its total natural abilities, but with the art of dragon's breathing,
This show looks kind of stupid.
This enhances his destructive force, allowing him to gain superior physical dominance and amplify
Ow.
his attacks to the most devastating levels. But his best technique is known as Musou Tenshi. What makes Musou Tenshi so beneficial is that it grants the user temporary intangibility and communication with the spirits of the fallen rivals to learn their techniques, such as his brother Toki and his Juno Ken fighting style, also known as the Gentle Fist. Wait, how can this even be gentle?
Oh.
Well, it isn't. It's
Okay.
really a contradicting technique to Raoh's natural style, focusing on agility, redirection, and turning his opponent's strength and abilities back at him. This just scratches the surface of the spirits he can call upon. This makes Raoh seem like an immortal pillar of sheer strength and power, but he's by no means undefeatable.
He's a pretty ruthless fighter, but he does have conflict with profound, albeit concealed compassion and sorrow.
This show would 100% not be for me since it's
Save his brother Toki.
ridiculous.
He would have to witness something of sorrow or embrace significant power to transform. Raoh is also quite arrogant. After all, he did lose against Kenshiro at becoming the 64th successor of Hokuto Shinken. However, this can also be seen as a good thing because it shows Raoh never gives in and puts in his all.
Overall, Raoh is a ruthless, tyrannical warrior bent on conquering the heavens and a master of Hokuto Shinken. He can easily keep on pace with many other fisted
I think my pick is on Raoh to win compared to Akuma.
However, his arrogance and deep loving
I
nature
want
make him
Akuma to
the
win,
best of
but
them
I don't
as
think
much
he
as
does,
keeps him
honestly.
going.
And now, let's get ready for the fight. This battle will take place on Earth, and remember, there is no
Okay, now let's see this fight animation. This should be
Let
sick.
the battle begin.
Two fist fighters just going all out against each other. Well, a fist fighter and plus with a fucking sword, which is kind of stupid, but sure, whatever. Raoh, okay. Already good animation style. Already going sick on the animation. Love it. The Tatsumaki Senpukan. Then the roll and grab. Throw. Rapid flurry. Dude, put down your ego for like 2 seconds. You might underestimate an opponent, but that's not a good idea. Raoh. Never underestimate anybody, honestly. That's just gonna piss him off. Already going Shin. Okay then. Sure. He's already going Shin already. This is where Akuma starts getting the upper hand a little bit against Raoh. Ow. Does Akuma actually win this thing? You're so sweet. Yeah, Raoh's not done. I was gonna say if that's done, then that's ridiculous. But now it's Oni Akuma. Yeah, this is the part where the ass kicking starts coming into play. Come on, Akuma. I know you. Come on, win this damn thing, please. Sure, the other guy has the speed advantage over you. With his ego. The Use your finishing move like the blazing fist, my guy. Akuma, no.
I listed your earrings. Find what you love, sell what you don't.
Hotels.com introduces Save Your Way.
Man, he dead. Why is it that both of the last two fights, my guy who I wanted to win lost both times? Seriously? I even called it was going to be Raoh who won, but I wanted Akuma to win personally. Just maybe Gabriel as well?
Hopefully you enjoyed
Yeah, it's
it.
Gabriel moves.
You did super special thanks
Cool.
to Team Animation Rewind's Gabriel M. I'd also like to thank the co-host Coleman from AMK Games for the research,
Okay.
analysis, writing, and editing of this episode.
Cool.
Thanks and enjoy the post-analysis.
Okay, so what's the announcement stuff? And
Between these two fighters with motives to surpass heaven, it was Raoh who surpassed heaven as he sent Akuma to heaven, or more like hell.
Right. Anyway, the winner of this fight is Raoh, and this pains me to see and admit, as I am quite a huge Street Fighter fan and have never even read or seen Fist of the North Star. So I'm sure it's a great series. However, facts outweigh feelings, and we shall explain why Raoh takes this win more often than not.
For starters,
I'll just say if they actually brought in the other stuff that they said they were going to hold back, then there'd be a full different example of who wins out, and that'd be Akuma clapping Raoh's cheeks.
If we factored in Akuma's feats from Azura's Wrath, he would easily have won this battle, as facing Azura would have made Akuma range from star level to possibly galaxy level.
Yeah, Azura is fucking nutty.
Point is, a multi-continent to small planet level at best, Raoh would have no shot against a star level Akuma.
But without Azura's Wrath, this fight is much closer and could go either way. Both fighters have showcased island to multi-continent plus levels of strength, durability, and power. Akuma shattered an entire island with a single punch in base form, and as Shin Akuma, he shattered a continent plus size meteor capable of destroying Earth. This wouldn't quite be planet level because the meteor itself isn't of the same size, but definitely continental plus at least, and Oni boosts those stats even higher.
Raoh can scale to the likes of Kenshiro and many other characters in the Fist of the North Star universe, many of who are capable in their own continent-level feats. Where Raoh takes the edge in this fight is his speed and stamina.
Yeah, the speed. Like I even noticed the speed was higher. Like that's gonna be the main factor. I was thinking that. Just check out honestly, because speed is an important factor in fights. It really is.
And taking out a city in the span of 2 seconds would require a speed of over Mach 5,633.
And since Akuma has shown to tag M. Bison, this would make Akuma massively hypersonic plus levels in terms of speed. As for Shin Akuma / Oni, it's heavily implied he's even faster, but we don't have any exact feats to go off of for them that exceed his base form. Still, Akuma's pretty fast, but Raoh has proven to be faster. As calculated in the pre-analysis, Raoh can keep up with Juza, who is able to blitz the FDL Garuda.
Since Juzo was able to blitz Garuda, this implies it would be at least twice the speed of light, and Raoh is able to handily keep up with this guy. This would make Raoh 300 times faster than base Akuma, making it difficult for Akuma to land even most attacks.
Unfortunately for Akuma, who just got out of bed.
This battle close is Akuma's skill and experience advantage over Raoh.
Akuma is nearly twice the age of Raoh and has taken on a larger variety of enemies, especially when you consider each of the crossovers he's been in, which is going to be a problem for Raoh. Another thing that could be a problem for Raoh is the Raging Demon. If Akuma lands a Raging Demon on Raoh,
then it's done.
He would most likely win this battle. However, the moment Raoh unleashes Muso Tenshi,
that's what I thought. Like if he got that blazing fist strike off, he would have won then 100%. Because Raoh is very egotistical, and that thing hurts people hard with egos.
Which is the best counter to the Raging Demon. He can't even be touched by Akuma. Sure, Akuma technically also has intangibility, Senku, but it's only through short distances, teleportation, and he can't attack while performing it.
Now, some will argue that Raoh will need to feel sorrow to tap into this state. Well, I believe that Raoh seeing Akuma giving in to the Satsui no Hado more and more as the fight goes on and losing his morality would most certainly trigger that state for him. Even without Muso Tenshi, Akuma will likely struggle against Raoh's natural fighting style, as his strategy of striking the meridian points would prove quite effective against Akuma's somewhat inferior stamina, especially if he hasn't powered up.
Raoh's nature as a fighter and his overall control of discipline with Mosu Tensei would prove victorious against Akuma in a very similar manner to how Ryu prevailed against him with his power of nothingness. Akuma will certainly give Raoh quite the run for his money, and with his adjudant skill and experience, he definitely could win in a few different ways, but more often than not, Raoh's superior speed, stamina, and strategic fighting style would be too much for Akuma to handle, making the winner of this battle Raoh.
Who's next is my question now.
Of Cartoon Fight Club.
Angry Birds? Red versus Pea Shooter. Okay, cool. If you're factoring in Garden Warfare, then that gives the Pea Shooter quite a bit more interesting feats. And honestly, I'd be pretty good information-wise for the Pea Shooter side because I'm a person with 700 plus hours in Garden Warfare games, and about 500 plus in Plants vs Zombies 2 / Plants vs Zombies 1. So yeah, I would surprisingly know quite a bit about that character. So yeah, I'm genuinely looking forward to this fight. Then honestly, I really am. I'm already just saying it. My money's on Pea Shooter though, because if you add in the Chili Bean Bomb / all of the Pea Shooter variants, which I'm not sure if they're factoring in that, but if they do, then Plasma Pea Shooter fires basically galaxies from itself in its attacks, apparently, due to the actual reading of its abilities. It can fire galaxies from each attack it does. So, yeah, I'm just gonna call this here and say bye bye.